All right, ladies, this is Alex from Mindful Attraction 2.0. So today we're going to be talking about 5 things that women do that guys hate, and these are things that you guys should definitely stop doing. Seriously, stop doing this shit, right? And these are things that, once again, that there's an easy solution for this. So even though I tell you this and you do this, don't feel shitty about it because the solution to these problems are very simple. Sometimes we think that complicated problems require complicated solutions. That's quite the contrary, and that's actually one of the reasons why solutions never happen. The real solution to a lot of life's problems, in reality, are the simplest solutions. The reason why we don't see it is because, once again, we think our problems are bigger than they really are. When in reality, a lot of complex issues stem from very simple and rudimentary problems that if you tackle the source, it doesn't require a lot of work. It just requires a lot of pain. It requires for you to dig through a lot of the shit, which will equate to observing the pain and running towards it. So these 5 things are things that women do that you guys might be doing. And once again, this is going to be something that you guys, it's impossible for you guys to become aware of this simply because you guys don't have the understanding that men have about themselves. Sometimes when you're guided by your emotions, which is to say, when you want things so badly, when you want a certain outcome, you sort of don't see how you're sabotaging yourself. All right. So with that being said, let's get started. All right. Let me make sure the movie is recording. All right. Okay, let's get started. Ready? So the first one, when they try to take the role out of the man. This happens a lot, and a lot of the reasons why women do this is now. Look, what do I mean by the role? The role is simply the gender roles. Like, I'm a man and you're a woman, and because a man is a man, he would try to support you. He would try to feel like a man through being the provider. Now the problem that a lot of women have is that because of insecurity, which is to say because they feel like if they let the man control them, that they lose their power, which is all an illusion. They tend to overcompensate by trying to be more masculine, by trying to be more independent, trying to pay for the date, trying to be more controlled, just to get the point across that you are a confident person. You see, whenever you try to make the point that you are confident, it's saying the total opposite. You see, and it tends to be corrosive to a relationship. So, as a woman, when you're always trying to control everything, control the dynamics of the house, controlling how things are, trying to earn more. And I'm not saying that nothing wrong with that, but the problem is that when you take away the chance of a guy of being the man in the relationship, it makes him resentful. For example, it's kind of like a guy wants to feel like he could pay for the date. Like I was talking to a client yesterday, and not a client, but like a previous client. But I was just calling him because I wanted to give her a nice little exit interview for the service that we had. But anyway, so we talked about who should pay for the date, and I told her that a lot of the times you could pay for the date, but it's much just like I got from the last interview of Sharon. I keep forgetting her name, Sharon Raven. So I'm sorry if I did forget your name. Sorry about that. Um, she told me that you should let the guy pay simply to give him the illusion that he's in control. You see, and once again, it's not that the man is better than you, but that you got to let the man be a man by orchestrating moments of needs. You see, but if you're always trying to show how independent you are, how successful you are as a woman, nothing's wrong with that. But the problem is that when you do it to the point that he cannot really be himself, he cannot assert some control, assert his masculinity, then he's gonna resent that. You see, let him feel like he could help you out. If you say I am emotionally stable and I don't need you, act like you need some emotions and let them feel strong. That's what I'm saying. All right, that's the first thing. So when they try to take the role out of the man, all right. So the second thing is projecting your pain onto all men. There's a lot of the times this is how racism starts. You see, like where you feel a certain where a certain individual. Let's say you hate black people, right? Let's say one black person killed your family. Let's just assume, right? As a result, because you hate that one black person, you hate every black person, and every black person you meet reminds you of that one person who killed your family. And so a lot of times that happens with men, where you become jaded, where a guy hurts you. So as a result, you sort of hate all men, and you start projecting a reality that's not true for all men, and that causes you to become very bitter. That causes you to actually hate men. That causes you to actually feel fearful about men. That causes you to actually be more defensive to men that you shouldn't be defensive, and that sabotages you from actually meeting the man that's actually good for you, and also keeping the man, because you're always going to be feeling that pain. You're always going to try to overcompensate, trying to feel stronger, trying to assert that you are a strong woman. You see, and that's a big issue, because then you start snapping at guys for no reason. You're literally bitter towards all men, and in a way it's reflected on him. All right, and guys feel that. You see, guys feel that. For example, it's kind of like when I'm on a date with a woman, and I'm a very touchy person, and let's say that I touch her, like I give her a hug and whatnot. A lot of the time, some women would feel they would tense up. You see, even though I'm not threatening them, but maybe they were hurt in the past. Maybe a guy abused her, so as a result, that's what they think about. You see, that's what I'm talking about, where somebody's when somebody hurts you, so as a result, you hold on to it and you bring it onto other relationships. You see, and that affects the way you interact with people. Now, I don't mind that, because I understand. So I know how to take a step back, make her feel comfortable, and then reinitiate reinitiate the conversation, reinitiate what I'm doing. But the whole point is that I notice that women do that, and I understand. But the thing is that you have to learn how to let go. Through some of the tactics I'm going to be teaching you. Again, I'm going to give you guys the things that guys hate, but also I'm going to give you guys very simple solutions. All right. Number 3, using him as therapy. Now, I'm not saying that he sits you down and you guys have a little power about your date. No. The way that I'm talking about is using him as therapy, is using him as your punching bag, using him as your way to release your energy, your stress, not in the good way, but in the negative way, where you literally spew out vitriol against him. So you feel shitty, and rather than observing the pain and finding solutions through becoming your own sources of positive emotions, you snap at him for no reason. You complain to him. You find reasons to get angry at him. You see? And when the problem is that when you're noticing that you're snapping at one person or at guys, or you try to, or you ask a guy out, and then you just try to fuck with his heart simply because it's fun for you and it makes you feel better just to fuck with a guy's heart, that's not good. That's a sign of low self-esteem, and guys feel that. You see, guys feel that kind of stuff. Guys are not your little crying shoulders. You see, you gotta go into relationships with a full cup, where there's nothing that you need, but you have so much that the only thing you have is to give. That creates a relationship where two people are giving and two people are not taking away from each other. But the problem is that most relationships are based on giving, because most of people go into relationships empty, looking for happiness, looking for that self-esteem in each other. And that's where a lot of toxic relationships occur, when they use each other as therapy. And so that's something that, if you're noticing that you're using him to be happy, then that's an issue, because that's sucking away a lot of the energy. That's sucking away a lot of the happiness and positivity from the relationship. And that manifests itself in the form of complaining, in the form of when he doesn't text you back, you hold him responsible for making you angry. When you have a bad day, you don't blame yourself. You don't blame the way you're perceiving the world, but rather you blame him. And this is where the next point comes, where you play the victim, where you talk to other people and you kind of flip things around because you're the woman and say, it's because of you I feel this. The other thing is that as a woman, you could easily get anyone to believe you simply because you are the woman, not against me. Nah, fuck that shit. I'm the type of guy, I always ask what happened. You see, I don't just take the bait because you're the woman, and you're fucking angels and all that shit. We all know the truth. Motherfuckers ain't no angels. But when you play the victim, it empowers you, because people around you support you. They say, you're so right, and you dwell in that, and you dwell in feeling in the pleasure of having people say how right you are. And so as a guy, guys see that. Guys see when a woman plays the victim, and guys fucking hate that shit. Sorry, I didn't move. Guys fucking hate that shit when women play the victim. They hate that shit. When you start crying for no reason, especially when women cry for no reason. You see, I don't give a fuck if you're just a woman and then you cry for no reason. Fuck that shit. That's no excuse. As a woman, you gotta learn to man up. Woman up, man up, woman, man up, motherfucker, man up. You see, stop crying for every fucking reason that happens, for everything that happens. Right? Don't blame people for how you feel. Don't blame them for feeling angry. Don't blame them for the bad stuff. Don't blame a guy because why you can't get any guy because a guy hurt you. You gotta take responsibility for all of the things that happen. See what I'm saying? So number 5, blaming your emotional problems. Blaming your emotional problems for your lack of control. So plenty of times women will snap at guys. Now, mind you, I understand PMSing, all that sort of stuff. I don't talk about that on this channel. That's my forte. Okay, I'm an immature guy. I may sound mature, but I'm very immature. I'm very superficial still. But when you say, oh, I'm just a woman. I just get angry sometimes. I just get a little fucking psycho sometimes. Get the fuck out of here, man. That's no excuse. A lot of women use because I'm a woman as an excuse for being a psycho. That's not that. That's no excuse. You see what I'm saying? That's no excuse. And men see through that. Men resent that. A man will respect a woman who finds herself feeling angry and out of control and is able to recenter herself. A centered woman. There's nothing wrong with losing control. Nothing wrong with that. As long as you're able to recenter yourself is the key. When a man is able to intervene and say, hey, what's going on? And you're able to center yourself. But if you're always lashing on your anger, and rather than being self-therapeutic, which is to say observing any tension that you're feeling and not trying to externalize it, but rather observing it, accepting it, allowing it to dissolve in the midst of your presence by becoming present in the moment, you lash out. And rather than taking responsibility and saying, I'm sorry, I need to work on it, you say, I'm just angry, I'm just a woman, like I'm just, like I can't help it. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here with that shit, man. A lot of women do that. And the problem is that when you take on that mentality, you never really work on those emotional responses. You see, rather than working on them and becoming stronger, you weaken yourself because you're just being a woman. Now, as you guys can see, that shit annoys me. That shit annoys the living fuck out of me when women do that because it's just not fair. Like, so when do you take responsibility? You see, when are you gonna change if that's the case? If it's always because you're mad or you're a woman, then that means you're always gonna be fucking crazy? Get the fuck out of here. Some bullshit, man. Anyways, yeah, that's it, man. Like, it's one of those things that you just don't notice. And the reason why, look, I didn't talk a lot about behavior. I talked more about the source. Now, how do you fix this? A lot of these things that you see is, for example, when they try to make you, let me just go over so I can give you the common trait. Taking the role of the man. Projecting your pain onto all men, using men as therapy, playing the victim, blaming your emotional problem for your lack of control. A lot of it has to do with trying to feel better. Everything's to take back some control because you want to feel better. So what do I always tell people? The solution for all of this is to simply try and experiment. What would happen if you just stop trying? Oh my God in heaven. Holy shit. Oh my God. Oh, she's so sexy. I saw some women today walking by, and they were like dressed. It was the morning here, but they were dressing like, yeah, he's looking too. They were dressed like they just came out from a party, right? And I was like, yo, what the fuck? I was skating here, and I looked at them like they were so fucking sexy. And I was like, yo, you guys gonna work? They were like, no, we just came from a party. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? You guys are crazy. And I just skated away. I was like, you guys are crazy. But they were looking so sexy. Oh my goodness in heaven. Like, you should not be walking around that sexy this early in the morning, man. I got some things to do. I can't be distracted. But anyway, so yeah, it comes down to stop trying to feel better. So whenever you feel that draw to externalize your anger, like anytime that you feel angry and that you feel like the other person is doing something wrong, I want you to ask yourself, am I trying to feel better? And just observe what's going on inside of you. And after you ask yourself, am I trying to feel better? Then ask yourself, what would happen if I just stop trying to feel better just for 1 minute? Just for 1 minute. And notice what will happen if you just stop trying to feel better for 1 minute. All right? And then keep going. And then stay there. Just stay there, not trying to feel better. And what tends to happen is that you notice that there's like a tension is relieved. Like you feel more relaxed. Like you were holding on to something. Suddenly you just let go. And it's very liberating because you would think that you were relaxed at that moment in time, but as soon as you stop trying to feel better, suddenly all of those weights drop down and you feel more relaxed and you feel more yourself. And this works for almost any emotional pain, almost any, my goodness, oh, she tripped. Damn. Anyways, that was almost any emotional, because she distracted me, man. Like, look at this. Can you guys see it? Look, time out. I know this is not the men's channel, but like you just can't look like this early in the morning. Let me see. Can you see that? Let me see. Is she right there? No, you can't see it. All right. whatever. Too bad. One second. There you go. There you go. All right. Okay. So yeah, it's pretty much a time to feel better. And like if you're talking to the guy and you feel and you feel angry, right, and you want to lash out on him, ask yourself, am I trying to feel better? And then observe, and then ask yourself, what would happen if I stopped trying to feel better? And you're gonna notice that you immediately feel more relaxed. And you do this throughout the whole day. See, and if that doesn't work for you, then simply notice your breath. Just notice your breath, and get a clicker. A little clicker. I even show you guys the video. Get a clicker where you guys, every time that you forget your breath, you click that. You see a little clicker, boom, and you notice that you forgot your breath, then you return to your breath. You notice your breath, and then suddenly if you start thinking about something else, you notice that you forgot your breath, click it, boom, and now you're back to the breath. You see, all you're doing is not trying to notice the breath all the time, but simply to notice when you forget, because that brings you back, and that stops the momentum, because thoughts and emotions, Jesus Christ, thoughts and emotions have a momentum. You see, and so when you immediately stop it in that moment, you're able to recenter yourself, because again, like when you get angry at someone, like it is a momentum, like you feel like you want to keep going. So as soon as you feel like you want to keep going, you want to recenter yourself and ask yourself, am I trying to feel better? And observing the tightness, and then letting it go by asking yourself, what would happen if I stopped trying to feel better for 1 minute? Simple tactic, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, this is Alex from mindfortraction.org. Sorry for being distracted. You know, a lot of distractions in the city, right? Anyways, take care. Bye-bye. And we post a new video. I'm going to post another one today, all right? But by the way, my book that I'm writing is I'm going to put the pre-sale up sometime next week, all right? So keep stay aware of that. It's going to come up and have a good day. Bye-bye.